All right, now, apart from the commodities, let's look at the human resources. How prepared are we to embrace the opportunities and the challenges of 2025 as individuals, as a worker, and even in our personal lives? Well, let's discuss HR this morning with Dr. Emumina, David Emumina, the Managing Director of PM for Success International Limited, joins us from our Abuja studio. Dr. Emumina, good morning and Happy New Year to you.
Good morning and Happy New Year to you too as well. Happy New Year to our viewers.
All right, so
thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So the year 2025, obviously, like 2024 started, would come with its challenges and its advantages, benefits, opportunities. When you look at the Nigerian scenario, macroeconomic issues, we just talked about the Naira, commodities and all of that. ICT is also making its way already in core conversations. As individuals, how do you think we can prepare to make the most of this year?
Okay, thank you very much once again. The opportunities are enormous. We have boundless opportunities around the capacity building, around training, around human resources. And individuals at this point need to understand that for you to be able to succeed in this year 2025, you must put a lot of things into consideration. You must build your capacity in the areas of ICT. Technology is advancing. We have new areas of technology innovations. We have the areas of IT, AIs, and the advent of AI is driving the conversations around whatever we do. So for a workforce, one that is working, an individual, at the beginning of this year, today is second, a lot of us have had good goals. This is what I want to achieve. This is what I want to achieve. But oftentimes you realize that towards the middle of the year, if you try to do an evaluation of what you've achieved in terms of capacity building, personal development, they've not been able to do anything. So we'll try as much as possible to encourage individuals that while you're setting your goals for 2025 in terms of personal development, for you to stay competitive, you must be able to ensure that you must have a strategic plan on how you're going to build your capacity. It's going to be on a quarterly basis or it's going to be on a monthly basis. So you must be able to set out some level of funds available for you to be able to build your capacity, because technology is changing the way we work, and you can be in Nigeria and as well be working outside the shores of this country. So that's why we say technology has come to stay, and we all as people that are working, we must embrace that technology and build our capacity in those regards. For those that are currently working and that want to upskill into different various sectors, you look at the relevant courses that are obtainable in those areas and train. For year 2025, there are key courses that we should be looking at: project management, data analytics, AI, UI, US. All of these courses are very relevant, emotional intelligence. So you must be able to look at, for the new areas or the new sector I'm going to be working in, what are the necessary skills and trainings that is required for me to be able to succeed. The demand for cybersecurity certifications and skills is on very high this 2025. So one can be able to look at it and say, okay, I want to transit from probably HRO to data. Then you pick up some courses around data analytics, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be somebody that have a first degree in IT before you can be able to transit into that space. You just do some courses online, and by the help of God and God being on your side, you can just see yourself landing into a new job. Then for those that are in the school, that are just fresh graduates, that are coming into the workforce, they must be able to understand that our university system teaches you and gets you ready. But the truth of the matter is that there's a gap between the industry and the university. So you should be able to look at what are these areas of interest that I want to work in, what are the courses that I need to take for me to be able to stay competitive. And you cannot take the place of e-learning, because right now is where one can sit in the comfort of his home and learn. So for us to be able to look at all of these things, you must ensure as an individual you put in consideration in your plan, not just setting a goal that I'm going to do XYZ training. You must be very intentional about those areas of trainings that you want to do and be very specific about them.
Yeah, but the reality is that a lot of people really want to do this. But, I mean, when you look at the value of the Naira, look at time management, because you already have a job, perhaps you have school fees and all to pay. These may be discouraging factors, even when an individual is aware of the fact that, oh, this is where the world is going, I should get training, perhaps I can do it online. But the reality, you know, sometimes can push people the other way.
Yeah, I understand that. We are not going to undermine the fact that the Naira is not also doing well against the dollar. We are also not undermining the fact that the economy, that comes with a lot of challenges and stress. But the truth is, there are cheaper ways of getting this thing done. And it starts with your commitment, right? So if you are determined that you need to do this, you look at the area of time management. So you can be able to put in, if it's 30 minutes of 1 hour on daily basis. At PM for Success, for example, we have a career academy platform that's catered for those that want to do the personal development, right? And the costs are quite very low. It doesn't require a lot of cost from you. And I think at the time we are done with this training, we're also going to have a conversation with channels on this so that we can be able to see what we can do around that space. For those that are willing and are ready to take the decision of building their capacity, irrespective of the challenges that are around us right now, we can be able to start a journey, and you just pay very token, and you see, by the end of the day, you're already achieving what you plan to achieve. But you see, that commitment is what we need, because oftentimes, like I said, we don't get to commit to it. And the truth of the whole situation is, when we make this plan, sometimes we don't put God in the plan. So there must be God in the plan. And you see the opportunities that are enormous, these low-hanging fruits that you can take off from there, and you start running with it. So that is what we should be able to look at. So as we make our year declaration and we plan and all of that, let God be at the center stage of it. And with little opportunities, information coming from channels, and with the conversation we're going to be having with channels after this whole session, to see opportunities and how we can be able to do all of those things. So Nigerians with little of no cost at all. So there are a lot of things that one can be able to achieve. It's just being determined, focused, and stay committed to ensure that this is what I want to do. I want to build my capacity in this area, and look out for the opportunities, look out for the low-hanging fruit. You have your online platforms here and there. Some you start the program, you can't be able to complete, but with mentorship, you can be able to do that. And we'll try as much as possible. Like I've mentioned, we'll try to see how we can work out something with channels and put that out, and people can be able to understand that these things is doable. It's just for you to commit to it.
All right, Doctor, the authenticity of online courses also comes to play here. Have we gone above that? Is it widely accepted, especially like here in Nigeria? Has it been embraced totally?
Yes, it is. It has been embraced. Yes, the acceptance is very high, because, like I said, online courses and online platforms, learning platforms, majority of them have global certifications. Using our career academy, for example, if you are transiting into IT, you're going to be doing courses that are going to be certified with the likes of Google and IBM and all of those guys, global top IT companies in the world. So wherever your certifications are presented, those certificates are presented, or wherever those skills you present yourself and they see that you have some of those certificates, it gives you an advantage. So the acceptance is very high. And like I said, everybody cannot afford to pay very expensive fee for some of these courses, but there are other options that you can be able to go through and get the same certification, get the skills, the right skill set, and you just fit into the industries that you find yourself in. And what most important is, do you have the required skill set to be able to perform on this job? That is what we are looking at. Then by the time we look at, okay, where is your certification coming from? So before we even talk about the certification you're acquiring, we're looking at if you have the capacity and what it takes to be able to perform on that role that you are applying for. So those are the kind of things we'll be looking at. And the acceptance, like I say, is very high.
All right, so we've talked about from the perspective of individuals. What about as organizations? We know with what's going on, a lot of organizations are looking for how to cut costs, HR, and ensure that, the retained resources, human resources, is used efficiently. How do you see this being achieved by organizations?
Okay, so this is where the HRO team, we have to do a lot, because the truth is, a couple of, I think last year I had a conversation with NFPC Academy, and we're looking at, they have a program where you can be able to look at the skills that is required for a particular staff to be able to perform on a job. So in that kind of conversation, our HRO department needs to look at, for the 10 staff, for example, I have in my company, we need them to be able to perform. From last year, they did, let me say, 50%. This year, we want them to do 80%. What are the skills that they need to do? So at this point, organizations should be able to have a proper cost, not too big, but at least set at a cost. Then look out for partners that can be able to offer those certifications or training in-house to their team, for them to be able to retain the human resource they have, retain all of the experts they have, then have them trained professionally so that they can be able to perform more. I think it's a call for organizations at this year, 2025, that if you want your team to remain with you, you must be able to be interested in building their capacity. So you're not going to leave that role to just the staffs alone. The organization should be the one to drive the process, so that at the end of the day, another organization that is interested in investing into their people will not come in and take your best team out of you, and the next thing you begin to have issues of sustainability and all of that. So we must be able to, organizations, HROs, all of HROs practitioners at the different levels of organization must be able to put into consideration the need to understand that our people are our assets, and they are the greatest part of the organizations. If we don't have our people with us, we won't be able to achieve the good strategic plan, the good goals that we have set for the year. So we need to invest into those our people by ensuring that we train them and make sure that they all follow through the training processes, and try as much as possible to help them in areas of their welfare as well. So you're not just looking at trainings, you also be interested about them, because that is the only way you can be able to have your people retained with you in the organization in this year 2025. All
right, and we hope with all of that we'll have less of the jackpot happening this year. Dr. David Ebumena, the Managing Director of PM for Success International Limited. Thank you for sharing your time and tips with us this morning.
Thank you very much. And in my final thought is that as you plan and get ready for the year as it starts today, ensure that whatever you're doing, you have it properly planned, and let God be at the center stage, because that is the only part you can be able to achieve success. Thank you, Channels, for the privilege, and Happy New Year to all of our viewers. Thank you, please.
Thank you so much.